morning, MUIDS. I'm Pabby from 1205, and I'm here in the studio today with Peace from 1001. We're from the Broadcasting Club, and we're here every Wednesday from 7:45 to 8:15. So don't forget to tune in for your weekly content and entertainment. As a reminder, as a reminder that any teacher are listening at this point, we know that you're in a meeting right now, so feel free to switch off the PA system in your room. You can do that using the neat little wall right next to the door. By the way, if anyone's interested in connecting with us, feel free to fill out the Google form in the line group and homeroom hub or our Instagram at MUIDS broadcast. Moving on, let's get to our announcements. February 12th, our first announcement is that for grade 12 graduation from 19 to 2021 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please go to measure your gown there soon. There is also your art showcase on this week. Don't hesitate to apply for post, which is scheduled. Sorry. Schedule or check-in enrollment account for various events. For those who are interested in house banner painting competition, it is going to for 3 weeks. You can potentially have a look at the art happening through the for information contact for house fantasy. So we have our student market winners in the homeroom hub, and you can check it out. And also we have a science fair winners in the homeroom hub as well. This quote of the week is, "You never get a second chance to make a first impression." Quoted by Will Rogers, a performer and an actor, and also a social commentator. So, moving on to our news, serious stuff today. So, what are our news today, Peace? Today, we are going to start off with a Vertiman read a Guardian article on a topic of Russian election that has this happened very recently. Vladimir Putin has claimed a landslide victory in Russia's presidential vote as a thousand in the country and around the world protected against the pending dictatorship. The war in Ukraine, and at least according to The Guardian, a state-managed election that could have only one winner. In a vote denounced by the United States as obviously not free nor fair, Putin won 87% of the vote. According to the exit polling published by the state-run Russian Public Opinion Research Center and Public Opinion Solid. So, in a speech at his campaign headquarters on Sunday evening, Putin brushed off Western criticism of the elections, telling his supporters it was expected. Putin said in a quote that, "What did you want for them to applaud us? They're fighting with us in an armed conflict. Their goal is to contain our development. Of course, they're ready to do anything." The war was front and center in his victory speech, as Putin claimed he was securing the border for recent raids by pro-Ukrainian military units and said that his main task as president would be the war in Ukraine, strengthening defense capacity and the military. Asked about the potential for a direct conflict with NATO, he said, "I think that everything is possible in the modern world. Everyone understands that this would be one step from a full-scale Third World War. I don't think that anyone is interested in that." He also responded for the first time to the letter of exile now stating that he had given approval to achieve German critics for Russian prisoners and most shortly before his death. Unfortunately, what happened, he said, "I agree under one condition. We swap him and he doesn't come back. But that's life." After counting 75% of votes, Russian Electoral Commission stated that Putin leading with 87.14% of the vote. In second place was the Communist Party candidate Nikolai probably Kharitonov, right? Yeah, I probably have problems, spelling that. It's quite hard, yeah, I understand. Yeah, so let's continue. The government claimed turnout was the highest in history at 78.4% of the electorate. Putin's previous highest result came in 2000 2018, when he purported to earn 76.7% of the vote with a 67.5% turnout. As Putin sought a public mandate for his war in Ukraine and a fifth presidential term, the Kremlin's electoral machine sought to boost his share of the vote and turned out to near farcical levels, posting results that used to appear only in Russia's most despotic regions, such as Chechnya. In the face of Putin's predictable victory, Russia's embattled opposition sought to put together its own show of strength. Long queues formed at several polling stations in Moscow and other Russian cities as people took up a call for Navalny's widow to head to the polls at noon on Sunday. At an appearance at the Russian embassy in Berlin, Yulia Navalnaya urged her supporters to appear and made a symbolic show of strength, labeled noon against Putin. Her husband endorsed the plan before he died suddenly in Arctic prison a month ago. Navalnaya was greeted with a huge applause and chants from voters and thanked people for turning up to honor her husband. It can be hoped that everything is not in vain, that we will soon fight. She said in a post on Sunday. She said she had written Navalny on her ballot paper. The elections were quickly criticized by Western countries as expected. The U.S. National Security Council spokesperson, John Kirby, said the elections are obviously not free, not fair, given how Mr. Putin has imprisoned political opponents and prevented others from running against him. The Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, his name is quite hard, but yeah. I know it was hard. Yeah, it's very hard. Zelensky, in an address on Sunday evening, said Putin had become addicted to power. The imitation of elections has no legitimacy and cannot have any, he said. This person must end up in the dock, in the Hague. This is what we must ensure anyone in the world who values life and decency. The German Foreign Ministry wrote in the Poland Act that pseudo-election hashtag Russia is neither free nor fair. The result will surprise nobody. Putin's rule and authoritarian he relies on censorship, repression, and violence. The election in the occupied territories of Ukraine is null and void, another breach of international law. Navalny's team called on voters to spoil their ballot paper. Navalny across the voting slip or vote for one 30 candidates standing against Putin. To the opposition regards the Kremlin puppets. Reports from the ground suggested that queues recently formed at the numerous polling stations across Russia's big city as the clock struck midday. Leonid Volkov, a Navalny aside who was attacked by an unknown assailant with a hammer in Vilnius last week, said several thousand queues had formed at midday at polling stations across the country. Ruslan Shavadinov of Navalny's anti-corruption foundation said, "We showed ourselves, all of Russia, and the whole world that Putin is not Russia, that Putin has seized power in Russia. En route to Putin's win, Russia disqualified anti-war candidates, launched an unparalleled Get Out the Vote campaign targeted at state workers, and spent more than $1 billion on a propaganda drive." And according to the leaked documents shared with The Guardian. The Russian leader has faced no meaningful contest after authorities barred two candidates who had voiced their opposition to the war in Ukraine. Three other politicians running in the election did not directly question Putin's authority, and their participation was meant to add an air to legitimacy to the race. Long queues also formed at a noon place, popular amongst Russian immigrants, such as Berlin, Yerevan, and Armenia. London and Thai island of Phuket, hundreds of thousands of Russians are estimated to leave the country since the start of invasion of Ukraine more than 2 years ago. This action was Navalny's last wish, which has had to come today at noon, said Dmitry, a Russian voter who moved to Phuket shortly after the start of the war in Ukraine. He asked for his last name to be withheld for fear of repercussion.
The German broadcaster Die Welle estimated that more than 2,000 voters turned up for the midday protests outside the Russian embassy in Berlin. On Friday, Russian prosecutors threatened any voters who took part in the new against Putin action with 5 years in prison. In the southern city of Kazan, police detained more than 20 voters who had joined the protests. According to the Independent Rights Monitor OVD Info, arrests were also reported in Moscow and also St. Petersburg.
Russia has made individual acts of protest, including pouring dye into ballot boxes in arson attacks, polling stations in the preceding days. Elena Pamvilova, Russian election commissioner, said those who spoiled ballots were bastards. And the former Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev, said those responsible face treason sentences for 20 years. Russian Interior Ministry said it had filled 155 administrative charges, opening 61 criminal cases during the election, including 21 cases of obstructing voters' rights.
So, St. Anderson, a co-chair of the Gospels independent election watchdog, said the pressure on voters, also from law enforcement, had reached absurd levels. Right, Peach?
Yes.
And also, it's the first time in my life that I've seen such absurdities, and I've been observing elections for 20 years. This is what Andrei Shirk wrote on Telegram, referring to the actions of police who he said were checking ballots before they were cast under constitutional charges that he orchestrated in 2020. And Putin is also eligible to seek 2 more 6-year terms after his latest expires next year, potentially allowing him to remain in power until 2036. And by 2029, his tenure will have surpassed that of Joseph Stalin, who ruled the Soviet Union for like 29 years, making Putin the country's longest serving leader since the Russian empires. So, let's move on to our topic on today.
Yep. Of first impression.
So, we are going to be talking about the importance of first impressions. How do we make good first impressions, and also others on. So let's continue, please.
Firstly, how to create a good impression with anyone you meet. Making a great first impression. It takes a quick glance or less than 3 seconds to evaluate someone you meet for the first time. In this short period of time, other party has formed opinions on your appearance, demeanors, and how you are dressed. The first impression is quite hard to erase. They often play a significant role in relationships. But why are first impressions so important? And how do we create memorable, lasting, positive impression on the people we want to please? Today, we'll be discussing everything you need to know about first impression.
So generally, everyone knows it is impossible to make like everyone around you like you. But projecting a decent first impression of the best version of yourself can make you have higher advantage in life, such as getting jobs, offers, or also gaining more customers. J.K. Rowling once said that a good impression can work wonders, so your presence really matters. And similarly, Harvard School professor Amy Cuddy has also studied on the subject of first impressions alongside with Susan Fiske and also Peter Glick for more than 15 years. And they have discovered a similar pattern in human interactions, which is quite very interesting. In the book Presence, written by Cuddy, she writes that people often answer 2 significant questions during a first encounter. 1. Can I trust this person? 2. Can I respect this person? In other words, psychologists refer to this as warmth and competence.
Many people in highly competitive careers believe that competence is more than significant of a factor than warmth. However, in reality, research showed that it contrasts to belief. A 2017 study conducted by a team of Harvard psychology researchers have shown that during small talk, people often focus on conversation about themselves. Or in other words, researchers said that redirecting the topic of conversation to oneself, bragging, boasting, or dominating conversation often tends to decrease liking. However, surprisingly, asking questions about the other party leads to being liked more.
Well, it is indeed very interesting to talk about because usually we, as normal people, like to talk about ourselves, right? But according to the findings from the Harvard study of communications by Amy Cuddy, only 7% of people form their first impressions of you based on the words you say, while 55% of a first impression is visual, such as how you look, how you dress, and also other things. According to experts, a friendly smile accords to like 51%, good manners accords to 43%, and also eye contact accords to 35%. It was revealed that the best way to make your mark is to have a friendly gesture.
So, how important is the first impression? People will quickly judge others' trustworthiness, physical strength, and intention causing harm. Based on subtle facial and vocal cues, these following traits may differ slightly across cultures. For example, some studies have found that Chinese societies form first impressions based on competence rather than physical strength.
So, in order to create a long-lasting impression, Charlene Douglas has good tips for making a good first impression that you can like take on. So one, you should show interest in what your partner is sharing with you by nodding at appropriate times, right? Peace,
Yeah,
such as if I nod at peace, she will like me more.
yeah, I would like you more than.
Well, that was ionic, but yeah. So, um, maintaining eye contact and showing engagement cues such as nodding, asking questions, can help you create a decent impression on the other party, since it shows that you are fully engaged and participating in the conversation. So, in the classroom, if you don't understand anything about the materials that the teacher is saying, you can also nod your head and maybe smile at them and have eye contact with them. So so that so that it shows that you are fully engaged in their conversation. So what is the second tip?
The second tip is that a great smile and laughter go a long way. Some have even said that they can be infectious. Smiling and laughing can make other person who is engaging in conversation and is also showcasing your personality.
Wow, a great personality accords to like a great impression as well. Like everyone knows, a friendly gesture is like always the best.
I mean, like everyone loves talking to like people who make you laugh and smile a lot, right, Tammy?
Yeah, everyone likes to have a lot, like some fun in life, and also a comfortable conversation with someone that you can like share things with is also a good idea. So, it's like important to be friendly to anyone you meet. And the third one is ask questions who, when appropriate, to gain a better understanding of what they say. This will help your partner to feel what they are saying is like significant and important and taken seriously. And people want to like feel heard when they are communicating with someone. Usually we often think about ourselves, what we say, and how significant it is in the others' like interpretation. But the other party also wants to feel like that as well. So let's put ourselves in their shoes. And what is the fourth tip?
The fourth tip is to be punctual. They demonstrate your integrity and helps your partner to trust that they can rely on you for what you said. It can also help to strengthen your belief and partner's promise to be there for you when you needed them the most.
Like true friends do.
Yeah, and true couple do.
Yeah, true couples do. Let's say that more quietly.
Yeah, because there's a lot of couple in this school, you know.
Sure. So the fifth tip is to be positive, no negativity. And when you first meet someone, first impressions count. So please be sure to use like positive language that show excitement and enthusiasm when appropriate. A bright smile can lighten everyone, and also smiles are infectious. Laughs are also infectious. Ha ha ha. That was a dry laugh, but
But anyways, it was a great laugh.
I'm so sorry. So be sure to use positive language anytime. It is also important to be like authentic, like not fake like I was last time. So be authentic in yourself and also sincere.
So you're telling me you're faking the whole broadcast thingy?
No, I mean it was a genuine intention to do this broadcast with you.
Oh, okay.
So that's in your choice of language. By the way, we have like moving on to the last part of our journey. We hope that the content we gave out will be useful for like everyone, allowing you to like keep up to date with the world and learn more about first impression as a whole, and also last impression, including both the scientific and also professional perspective. We hope that you can learn more from what we have said. Go out there and be ready to have a great first impression. Have a good laughter with everyone, not a dry laughter like seconds ago. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening and see you next Wednesday as usual. Goodbye.